Happy New Year and welcome back to Hoop Shooting the Breeze, our show all about the hoop shoot. Each show we catch up with past participants, volunteers, and other friends of the Hoop Shoot program. My name is Nathan Springberg. I'm pleased to introduce James Johnson, the current Lodge Director and District Director for Oceanside Lodge number 1561 and California South Coast District number 1120. Welcome to the show, James.
Hey, thank you, Nathan. Outstanding. Love to be here.
I do want to quickly point out James's awesome outfit we got going on here. He's repping the hoop shoot right away, so credit to him there. So James, you've been involved with the program for a while. Do you want to share a bit about how you got started?
Yes, I'm Marine Corps, and obviously I did some youth activities on the side as volunteer program. So my neighbor for years had tried to get me to join the Elks Lodge. And when I finally joined, they had some things. Hey, what would you like to do? I like to work with kids. I like to work with community. So Hoop Shoot was one that came to my attention. And hey, I started. And since I had already worked with a girls team about 10 years before, this was something to do. And I had some good mentors, Dan Board and another gentleman. They assisted me in my first year, and the lodge backed it, and it became a success.
Awesome. That's cool. That's really good to hear. Just out of curiosity, how long have you been involved with the Hoop Shoot and just Lodge Director and District Director, years total?
I've been at Elk coming up on my 10th year. Okay. I've been coming up on 8 years.
Awesome. That's great. We love to hear that. What is it about the program that keeps you involved every year? Or just like favorite things about the Hoop Shoot in general?
I love the excitement of the kids. I love the excitement of the kids, especially, I tell them they got ice water in their veins because I always tease them because they look at 6'4". I still look like I still play basketball. I was like, hey, just think, kid can get on that free throw line. It's just them on an island, and they can hit 20 out of 25 free throws. Me, hey, I'm like Shaquille O'Neal. I kind of throw that one out there. So I think I'm impressed by the kids, the time they take, the resiliency that they are involved in trying to do the best. And I think when you really look at an 8-year-old, 9-year-old, up to a 13-year-old, there's a lot of growth. And you can see that growth. That's what I really like about seeing that and seeing that growth in these kids. You can see the failure, and then you can see the excitement of winning. So that's experience for working with Hoop Shoot.
Yeah. And I think it's so impressive. This was my first year being at the national finals, this past one, and I just couldn't believe the eerie pressure on the kids while they're up there shooting is, I can imagine it getting to me, let alone if I'm 10 or 11. And so I just think it's really impressive that they work so hard to get there. They shoot 200, 300 shots a day is remarkable.
Right.
So at convention in Atlanta during the Hoop Shoot seminar, you mentioned the importance of Hoop Shoot directors and volunteers training the successors, and how you believe it's an important factor towards the trajectory of, their specific program or just the program as a whole. Why do you feel so passionate about that?
I think it's like anything. I had good mentors, so anytime you have a good mentor you, it makes it much easier because as an Elk, once you join the Elk, they throw some things out there for us. Hey, we need you to volunteer here. We need you to work on this. And with Hoop Shoot, if you have a good mentor and it can give you all the tools, and then the Hoop Shoot portal, that plays a critical role in this. It teaches a new person everything about it. And I just love the excitement of a person coming in, want to help. And then obviously they see how these kids perform. And when you turn it over to them, they're like, hey, this is mine. I got it. So it's kind of like you can step aside and say, hey, you know what? That's a success story. We brought it in,
and I think just having that awareness to let that successor officially take over is something that we've been preaching. Every volunteer does a great job, and we're beyond thankful for every volunteer. But knowing when that successor is ready to take that step to be the main director is also something that's really important to the program.
Yes. Definitely.
What would you say to any Elks thinking about taking on the roles of a lodge director or district director that haven't been involved in the hoop shoot?
I would say, you know what, go for it, because the awards at the end of the day is that you've changed a child's life at some point. I mean, like you're saying, shooting 200 free throws, preparing for the actual event, that's a lot. And as a volunteer, to see that child move to the, semifinals, move to the state. And then, of course, with us, we have to wait for Hawaii to finish theirs. So therefore, it's kind of like, oh, okay, we got to wait for Hawaii to see who's going to represent. So I just love as new volunteers come out and see it, and they just are impressed by the kids. So that's my mentorship of passing it on and seeing another person succeed.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear. How do you see the hoop shoot program progressing here in the next 5 to 10 years, or what is your vision on the hoop shoot?
I think we were on a trajectory, really rolling it up. As you know, it was our 50th year, but COVID-19 killed us. I mean, for the last 2 years, and even this year, we've kind of had a hard time, bringing a lot of kids together. So I think once this COVID-19 is over, and I think we can get back into the YMCAs, the youth activities for its basketball teams, the sponsorships, I think we will be able to kick it off, and it'll be a success. I mean, word alone from just elementary schools, kids that have the trophies, have the certificates, it's a joy. And then I think with your website, it promotes it even more, because we push people towards the Elks portal for hoop shoot, so they can get to see a little more about what's in their community, as well as the soccer program too.
Yes, soccer shoot. Speaking of community, I do have a quick question about that. How do you think the hoop shoot brings together your community in your area, or has in the past, since it may have before COVID?
Well, I think reaching out to the schools, reaching out to the YMCA, reaching out to the Boys and Girls Club, you basically sell it to them, whereas they embrace something because they look forward to it as well. And then the kids that come to their program, the excitement of a child from their program to go to the next level, they come and watch that child, so they actually see how it is. And I think, to be honest with you, when we do lodge hoop shoot, it's much different than the next level and the next level, because as you go to the next level, the rules are really in place. I mean, really, we are really put the rules in place. Whereas at the lodge level, obviously, someone may come in late, obviously while a child, that's a distraction. But when we move to the district level and the state level, we close the doors. I mean, when the child's shooting, there is nothing. So can you imagine a child, you go through lodge, district, semifinal, and then you go to Chicago, and it's much different in Chicago. It's like pink and drop.
I know. That's what I couldn't believe it. It was dead silent in there, and all you can hear is that basketball bouncing. And man, if you miss one, you feel the weight of the crowd. Sometimes you can feel it, where they go, oh, like that release, and man, it can really get in your head. And these kids, they go right through it. They mentally are so strong, and they go right through it.
Yes, and they build upon that from the local, the district, and it's built upon it. So that's what I really like.
It's that perseverance through those. They know they've been there. They know they've gotten through it, and it's just another day. It's just on maybe a bit bigger stage, a bigger arena for Chicago. Yes. But yeah, it's really impressive. Do you have any stories out of your lodge or district that you like to share throughout the years?
Of course I do. I think, Mrs. Roberts, she actually won it. And obviously she went to Chicago at 8-9. And obviously we had a local kid at our lodge out of Oceanside. He went all the way to Chicago and participated. But I think Tanisha Roberts, she is a junior right now. She plays down in San Diego. She's going to be a future WNBA. This girl is remarkable. But her growth, I think, watching her from 8, 9, and then watching her again go to Chicago at 10, at 12, 13 was impressive. So this last year, we had a young lady and her sister both participated out of Riverside. And her sister,
the Lees?
what's that name?
Kyla, Leah.
Yes, the sisters.
Yeah, and Kira.
One and the younger sister came in 8th. That was impressive to see those kids. And with me being in South Coast District and they're in a different coast district, but we all share the state together, to see those two young perseverance, their parents, the excitement of their parents, I think that pays huge dividends for me.
Yeah, no, they had a really special weekend in Chicago. They were impressive for sure. So what advice do you have for present and future hoop shooters, especially those that are preparing for districts or, even states that are coming up in late January?
I think it's a foundation. It's a stepping stone because these kids that participate, they're going to participate at the elementary, at the middle school level basketball, and they'll participate in high school basketball. And that resiliency of shooting free throws will carry them forever. And then they can basically, their kids to get involved. And that's the other thing I love about it too. A lot of our, with the program over 50 years, parents that were once kids, their kids are playing, and then some grandkids are playing. That's the excitement of hoop shoot. It's like a grandparent's like, oh, I remember doing this almost 20 years ago. And now their grandchild is doing it. That's a blessing. Yeah. I love that.
We had a few of those, I believe, at the finals this past year. So that's some impressive stuff. There's some legacy families for sure in the hoop shoot.
Yes, definitely.
I know
it is definitely a stepping stone to high school and beyond.
Yeah. Last question I got for you. What do you see in the difference to being a lodge director versus a district director? Not just the hoop shoot, just like dealing with each contest. Is there a massive difference in those two? Because lodge is the first step, so I'm sure there's different things that come along with being a director of a lodge versus a district.
Yes, being that I have 10 lodges, this year I only have 8 lodges participating. I've always tried to push for all 10 to participate. But like I said, COVID years, this year 8 competed. My guys were great. I think my state representative and my semi, both Henry Ross and Larry Torres, they played in pushing information to me and I push it to them. And I think that's the success story of it all is information is being pushed where it prepares you and it prepares the information that once it kicks off, because again, hoop shoot kicks off technically, let's say August, September, October, November, right. And then as you takes you all the way to Chicago. So I like that part of the hoop shoot because also I serve as a veterans chair, which is every quarterly I got to have reports, and then I do national. So every month I do a report. With hoop shoot, hey, I know, hey, November time frame, hey, it's kicking off.
Yeah.
And definitely the information is out there on the portal. And I love that portal.
Yeah, no, it's great information. If you're a director, the dashboard is super, super helpful. We have everything out there you need, and just keeping submitting the winners and all that, even though the little things like that are really important to direct future directors and the ENF, so we can keep track of all that.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining me today, James. We'll be back next month with another exciting interview. Before we go, we do have the January service scorecard open now. A virtual engagement opportunity. The service scorecard combines service, the Elks spirit of volunteerism, and fun. Participants have the chance to win a $100 donation to the charity of their choice and some very cool hoop shoot swag that we have here. James, do you want to share this month's theme?
Oh man, you caught me off guard. Let me make sure.
I can share it. I can do it.
Yep, go ahead.
So January's theme for the service scorecard is self-care, encouraging participants to check in and take time for themselves while serving their communities. Visit enf.elks.org/servicesc to participate. And I just want to thank you again for joining me, James. We appreciate the hard work you do for the Hoop Shoot program and everything involved in the Elks. So yeah, it was great getting a new perspective as a lodge director and a district director, and I want to thank you again. For all the viewers out there, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more fantastic ENF content and Hoop Shoot content. If you like the show, leave a thumbs up on the video and let us know what you think in the comments. Take care, everyone. Happy New Year.
All right, outstanding. Thank you, sir.